Hey Woodturners, I'm Captain Eddie Castle and welcome to the shop. Got a great little project. Well, it's not my project. This came from Ron Radliff, and we did it a few weeks ago as a Ustream video. You don't know about Ustream, check the link on my homepage. But it's a nice little project. I think you'll enjoy it. It's right here. You see that? It's like a refrigerator magnet and a pen holder. Yeah, just like, well, really it is. A refrigerator magnet that's a pen holder. It's that easy. All right. Now, I've got printed instructions. If you need them, check my website or email me at this address if you like to receive them. But if you want to know how to make it, oh, that's different. You know what you got to do then? You got to watch. This is a great little project. The instructions only 2 pages long. It allows for a lot of variations on a theme. What I mean by, I'm going to show you a very basic project and then take it and run with it and have a little fun with it. This one is a little bit oversized. I'm going to stick it on the face of the bandsaw because I can never find an ink pen out here to fill an order form when you call. Never can. And the noise in the background? It's South Louisiana. We got to cut grass. Remember, under that white stuff, they got, grass. Okay, so I'm going to crank this thing up. It's going to use some scraps. Start with, I'm going to have a pen blank that's about 6 inches long. It's not going to be a real pen blank, but I'll show you more when we get to the pen part. The other part, the main piece is an 1.5 by 1.5 by 1.5 block of whatever hardwood you want to use. I like working with cocobolo, so I'm going to put a piece of cocobolo on my faceplate chuck. Let me show you that chuck. Right over here. Whoa. Yeah, right there. Now you see this chuck? This is honestly just a faceplate or a glue block put in my chuck. And it's flattened off, and that's a 3/8 inch hardwood dowel that sticks out 1/8 of an inch. The same thickness as the magnet I'm going to use. So that's what we're going to turn on, and to do that, you see this? Double stick tape. Double stick tape is going right here on this piece, and that's going to make it stick to that glue block when I bring the tailstock up to it. Don't worry about that. We all make mistakes. I drilled the wrong side, and I drilled it off center. But then you're liable to do that too, so I'm kind of showing you how not to do something. Really. I put the tape on, I clear the spot where that divot is. That's going to go right on here. Okay? Now, if that dowel sticks out too far, it's not going to let the glue set up. It just isn't going to happen. So, you got to make sure the dowel is just a little bit of a stub. I'll bring the tailstock up. This has got a soft touch on it, okay? And that's gonna, now I eight-sided the piece. I took the corners off because I don't like that thump, 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 thump thing when you try to turn the square around. Okay? Now, bringing the tailstock up, gonna do a test spin. Now, I got a couple of tips I'm going to share doing this procedure, but I'm going to start with a roughing gouge. Just a 3/4 inch roughing gouge, speed about 1500, 1800 RPMs. That was pretty harmless, wasn't it? Now, we're going to go with the detail gouge and finish this out. I'm front to back, I'm smooth, okay? I can tell you where the hole is. Then I want to stop and take a look at it. See, I missed it. I was on one side of it. I want to be here and here. That was there, there. Now what I want to do with that is put a depression. Just a simple depression. Why? I want to try to I want to make this look a little bit different. So I'm going to move you over here so I can reach past you. I got my rig up. Now I went to my rack and I got a 3/8 inch round bar with a 3/8 inch with a 12mm cutter. I want to take a look and see if I'm cutting centered on the hole. See, I'm all right on the back. I got to go a little bit deeper on the front because I'm just not enough of a shoulder there. And you want it to look nice and even, like it was intentional. There we go. Now, that is your basic design. Your basic design. And the pen can't be way to the back. The basic design's got a depression right over the hole. Okay? Now, the reason I said pen can't go to the back, you got to be able to grab it. Now, let's look at putting some detail on this thing. And before we get to the front, I'm going to bring my tool rest back up because I was way low on that to make that cut. Going to go back here. I'm going to put just a couple of scribes, a couple of lines. Then I'm going to burn them in. What is this? This is shop-made wire burner. Shop-made. Musical wire from Michael's or Hobby Lobby. A round ball. You see the hole I drilled in the ball? I pushed the wire through. I bent it over and I put some super glue on it. This is perfect. This will save, man, you know how much they get for that musical wire at the catalogs? I should get into that. I should add that to my catalog and take advantage of you guys and just give you a piece of wire for like $29 or something. Yeah. Oh, I'm gonna, you know what, idea, I'm gonna put it in the fall catalog. Now, I'm going to start putting a little detail on the front of this. It's going to come around. And I'm going to leave the tool rest up, the soft touch up here. Tool rest has got to go down because I wasn't going to cross center. All right. Just clean up that cut a little bit. I'm going to pick it up right up in here. You know why I'm using that soft touch? Watch. See it? That's why I'm using the soft touch instead of the point. Because I can come around that corner, dive towards that center, and if I happen to make touch with the soft touch, I've done no harm. See? Okay. Now, I'm going to move this out the way. I'm doing this all at one time so you see how quick this goes. Remember that goof up I told you about? It's still there, okay? Now, we're going to get rid of it right now. Hold on. Let's check this. I'm very loose. You know why? Because that stub sticking out is not trimmed enough off. So, before we get in trouble, we're going to change this tape. I can't change the depth of that projection because it matches my magnet. I'm going to change the length of that by a little bit. Okay, to do that, we're again right here at full speed. Take the detail gouge. Now, I'm sure that's enough. I'm going to redo the tape and then we'll go again. Redid the tape. It's set for a few minutes so I can set up. You can't rush this tape, it'll come right off. Then I'm going to make some face cuts. Otherwise I'll knock it right off. Knock it off. If I cut this way, I could put enough lateral pressure to knock it off. So I'm going to take off some of the bulk, cutting from the end. Nice and gentle. But remember, we're no longer between centers. Alright, then I'm going to go over here and pick up my other cut. This is a 3/8 inch detail gouge from D-Way Tools. I'm feeling a little vibration there. There's probably a little something left over from that drill. I don't feel it now, but I want you to see something real close, because this is an important part of making this slice nice and clean. My tool is set that when I get to that center, I'm going to slice it right at center. I'm not going to push down or lift up or anything else. I'm going to go right across the center. And I'm going to get a good clean cut right across there. No divots or anything else. Now I'm talking divots. It's a nice big plain piece of wood. So I'll do a few grooves in it just to shake things up a little bit. Then I'm going to bring the speed down to sanding speed. I'm going to buff this out. I've sanded it out to about 400 grit. I went 180, 220, 320, 400. I'm still at about 500 RPMs. I'm going to put a couple of good splash coats of sealer on it. Now it really pops when you put the sealer on it. And we're going to finish this with a super glue finish, or CA finish, while it's still on here. Now the other option is we just seal it, we buff off the sealer, we take it off the machine because we're doing a handful of them, and we spray it with either a rattle can of Deft or clear coat seal or anything else. And by rattle can, I mean the one you get at the hardware store on the corner. So, simple looking little project. Now, that hole is going to have some dust and trash in it that's just awkward. So this is a strip of 180 grit Siasoft from Vince Welsh. Vince's Wooden Wonders. And that's all I do to clean up that hole. Now, that's a 3/8 inch hole. This has got a fast coat of sealer on it. Now, I'm going to leave this just like this. Let the sealer blow off. I'll put the CA on it in a little while. But I don't need this chuck to do the pen. Ready? To make the pen, well, let me back up here a little bit. One of the most popular videos I've ever produced was called the 12-cent pen. And the first reload got over 75,000 hits. And I had to make a few adjustments to it to load it back up again. And it's been hit a pretty good bit since then. It's a very simple little project. You end up with a pen, you see it here, and you can decorate it any way you want. But the refill for that pen that makes it the 12-cent pen is right out of this crystal Bic. And in fact, this is a real Bic. The ice skater had this on her ice skate in the 60s. This is the original one. Alright, we are going to drill this out and make it hold that tip. Pretty simple. Now, you need the pen, okay? You need a drill bit. This is a 5/32 drill bit. It's 6 inches long. I got it at Granger.com. MSC Direct has it. McMaster Carr has it. Your local machine shop will have it. They call it a rivet drill. It's 6 inches long. This little plastic sleeve right here, this is just a Delrin ring I picked up at the hardware store. Why? Because I don't want to be cutting my chuck. So, when I put the piece on here to hold it, I'm going to turn it. Oh, did I cover that? This is the mandrel. No, this is the drill bit. Wait a minute. It's the mandrel slash hyphen drill bit. Slash hyphen. Alright, yeah, that'll work. This is a simple project. You ready to go? Let's go. We're going to go to about 500 or 600 RPMs. It's spinning. It's running extremely true. That's the key to this. This has got to be running true. If the bit's bent, the drill chuck is out, you have to get it to where this is running true. Here's our blank. 5/8 by 5/8. I like 3/4, 3/4. Didn't have it. I'm going to find the center of the blank. Right there. Okay? Then I'm going to use the tailstock to line it up. Not drill it. Just line it up so I get started in the right way. Alright? And then I'm going to just shove it onto that bit. Now, because I'm shoving it on, I'm controlling all the warp and wiggle and move it may have. Now, you have to keep cleaning it out. This takes a good minute to drill it. This bit has done quite a bit of pens. Now occasionally you get one that wants to come through the side because it'll pick up the early wood, the late wood. That's why I say use a good heavy hardwood on this project, because you don't want it coming through the side. You want to drive the bit where you want it to go. And you're only going to get about 3/8 of an inch per push, and then it's going to load down and you have to clear it. If you try to over push it, you're going to heat the bit up, the bit's going to heat up the wood. The wood's going to tend to crack later on, not today, tomorrow. And that's just a freaking mess. So we're coming right through, and look, we're running really close to center down here. So we're not off the center very much. And I didn't use any special rigs, jigs, or anything else. We pushed it on there. I think I first did this in 2005, maybe earlier. Because my mentor, Obi Lacaze, showed me how to do it. Now the last push, I don't want to pull it back off. I want it to have those shavings loaded up in there because I need the grip. I can get it a different way, but I get it better with those shavings in there. So I'll leave the last load in. I'm removing my soft touch, move all my trash out the way, and I'm going to bring up my tailstock. And I'm not going to force this to a center. I don't want to force it to a center. I'm going to live with what I have. And that's what I did just now. I brought it up because that bit was running true. If I forced it to a center, I would be pulling the center of the pen off. And I don't want to do that either. So with that, we have our pen on our drill bit. No, wait. No, we have our pen on our mandrel. Yeah, I think that's what it is now. Speed goes up. We want to turn it, we crank it up. 2,000 RPMs plus minus. I'll count them if you want. Okay. Roughing out. That's all it took to get around on it. And I'm going to work that round going back. I'm a little bit high. Bring the tailstock down a little bit, loosen up. Put a little more pressure on the tail. A little bit more. inch around that stops happening. So it's light cuts. To do this project, all you need is a pen that'll fit in the hole but not fall out. Now you can get as artistic as you want on how that pen looks. I just went basic because it's going to be hanging on a machine out here. But you can put a bulb on it, and Ron shows you that on his. But right now I've got a round pen all the way back here. I'm not 3/8 of an inch. I have to be 3/8 of an inch up in here for it to get into the hole to be held. But what I like to do is switch from the roughing gouge over to a skew. I get better, finer cuts. And let speed come up. And then within about ½ an inch of the very end over here, I like to dip into that bushing. Much like the end of the bic really is. Okay? Now, this has to be 3/8. How do we measure that? Well, I'm going to show you. I've got a basic factory-made 3/8 inch gauge. Right here. My open-end wrench. And when I put it here, it won't go. So I need to bring this down a good 1/16 of an inch. And that's what I'm going to do. But you got to move. You can't see anything from back. We crank up the speed again, and I know I need to go about a 1/16, and I need to take it back to about here. Then I'll work on the top end of the piece. Pick up the right tool with the skew. Don't check that with that gauge while it's spinning because you could mark it up and tear it. But you can see that's 3/8 right there, but not back here. After a little bit, you'll learn how to gauge it and get it right. But that 3/8 inch open end wrench is a good, easy gauge to use. And because I didn't pull this one way or the other to get that center lined up, I know the drill hole is going right down the center here. So I'm not worried about the drill hole showing up right up in here someplace. And that's going to be a little heavy. That's all right. So I'm taking another pass this off of this. Remember, I'm stopping up in here, and then I'll probably do something different around the top a little bit. Here on the top, I'm going to just keep running the same direction. Made a little gentle sweep right here. Then we're going to hold this all the way to the top. This little bit of scrap of wood is awesome to play around with your skew, to get better at your skew. Now, I've essentially got a pin that's going to go into that 3/8 inch hole. I'm a little fat right here, so it's going to stop. Okay, that's the 3/8 slot. It's going to slide all the way to there. Yep, and then it's going to stop right up in here, so I'm going to be sticking out the pen holder. A little bit heavier on the top than the bottom. I'm going to go up. I'm just going to round this thing out. Now, let me give you the caution. If I round it out before I've got this finished, I'm going to mark it up trying to finish it. So, what I would do right now is sand this out. Get this bottom 3/4 ready. And then bullnose this. So, with that in mind, pardon my reach, going to go up for some paper. I'm going to crank it up at about 500 RPMs, and I'm just going to buff this off a little bit. This wood turns beautifully. It finishes nice, but if you're allergic to rosewood or poison ivy, be aware. Don't buy a lot of cocobolo and then find out you can't use it, because you have to do what the last guy I ran across did that, and that was he boxed it all up and shipped it to me. I'm going to do the same thing that I did the magnet, and that is I'm going to splash a quick coat of CA on, sealer, and that's so I can take a good look at it and see, oh yeah, we're going to like that. We're going to really, really like that. So I have a splash of sealer on it. I can set this out and cure this in, and then I'll be able to start my CA finish. And I won't need to hold it on the end to do the CA finish. I can use a soft touch to push on it. Now, a couple of cautions about the CA finish, okay? I've got written directions available if you need them, but if you're doing the CA finish, you can't skip a step, and you can't shortcut a step, and you can't use the wrong product. If you go to medium, a medium thick, or whatever glue, it's not going to roll. It's not going to work. It's going to roll up and knot up and turn gray. Next, if you don't use the accelerator first to clean the piece, you're going to get some reactions from the sealer in the wood. The accelerant really cleans it. So, don't want to be fussing at you, but when you try it, there is a method to my madness. Now, from where we are now, it's time to peel this thing off. So let me roll this up in here, get you down in there and show you how I'm going to roll this off. We're running between centers right now. Okay? Here's where a good balanced, you have to be comfortable with your work. I'm comfortable to put my hand around this to steady it. I'm also comfortable with my skew. You see that long point? The long point is down. And I'm going to come in here and using the long point, I'm going to part it off. And I have to get rid of the divot that was put in by the tailstock. And that's easy to do, just rolling it around a couple of times. And all of a sudden you're going to find yourself holding the pin. Just like that. Now, I'm going to roll our tailstock back a little bit. I'm going to let it catch, and then I'm going to knock that little button off. Now, everything else will sand easily. Now, if it starts moving around and you can't get it to grab again, you can always pull it back and shove a little wax paper or baggie or something up here on the front, and that'll get it grip again. But now you basically have a turned pen right here. Now, Knock off that little tit. See what I'm talking about? Get the tailstock out the way. The mandrel magically changed from a mandrel back to a drill bit. It's amazing how that happens. Well, it's amazing to me. This is a really good project, a fun project for you to get into. Now, the pen goes, the refill goes into the pen. Now, if the tip needs to be reworked a little bit because you didn't get it the right size, you can always put it back up on the mandrel, or the drill bit, or that thing over there, and shape it back up again. But boom, you got the pen. The pen slides into your holder. Look at that. Even with the gauge, we weren't small enough. So we know we got to have a little more rattle. But guess what? Right now, with no big trouble, I can take this. Guess I need to go find a pair. There it is. Take this, put it back in the machine, and trim it back out again. In fact, that's what I'm going to do. So you're on board with what I did. I took the corner off a baggie, stuck it on the drill bit, and I'm bringing up the tailstock. Look at that. Runs as true as could be with the soft touch. And I can put a little bit of pressure on it, push it on down to the other. Now, I'm between centers right now. I can go over here and fix that tip a little bit. That's what I needed there. And then I want to make this a little thinner up in here. I'm bringing the speed up all the way because I don't want any catches. Right to the tip. Okay, now, same thing we did last time. We're going to do a little sand. All right. Just knocking this out real quick. Again, we're going to take a little bit of our Charmin Ultra Soft and put a little sealer on it. Just get the color to come out. You see, there was no magic to getting back where this was because our drill bit, pardon me, our mandrel would never change, never be impacted, and not be a problem. We put the power back up, pull it back out. There's our baggie. It disintegrated. We go back over and get our bit, bit, and that's a much better fit at the end. See it? Okay. And then we get our magnet, and yep, much better fit on the magnet. Now, if that chooses not to stay in because it's a little bit loose, remember the baggie? Well, there was another corner. You can put another corner on the baggie right up in there, and that'll do it. And that, we got to get some finish on it. It's going to be a great looking piece. When we got started, I forgot to tell you, you need to flatten the back of this and get it nice and true because you don't get a chance to work back there again. Then you take your 3/8 inch rare earth magnet, and I found the 1/4 inch will fall off when you take the pen out. So don't use a 1/4, use a 3/8. I got to stack them on one of the machines here to grab cords. And then you've got a finished project. And that is it. That's all there is to it. Oh, you put that magnet in with epoxy, 5-minute epoxy. And you'll come out with a nice little thing that you can share with people, stick it on their file cabinet, refrigerator door, the dashboard of your car if you drive something that's pre-1960. When it had metal in cars. So, that's a nice project. Thank you, Ron. Ron engineered this thing, worked it out. He's got details on it. I think he's got the instructions on the Woodchuckers Facebook page. And that wraps. Oh, no, that doesn't wrap it up. I always get these questions. What about your eyewear? You see this? This is safety eyewear. I upgraded to this. Sam's. I got 2 pair for $100 and something. Prescription. Bifocal. Side shields. Very, very comfortable. Look into them. Next is, do you come do demos at clubs? Yeah. I do it all the time. If you like information on me coming to visit with your club, just email me at this address, and I'll be glad to send you over a rate sheet. And they're negotiable. And if we can get a couple of more clubs in the area, or a couple more groups, some hands-ons, or whatever, we can change all those numbers. It's just that easy. Well, boys and girls, thanks for joining me again. As today we've been making shavings. And this is a production of Big Eye Productions. I'll tell you more about that in a minute, but first, I'm going to go put a finish on this. I mentioned Big Eye Productions. If you're into carbide cutters, you should be into Big Eye Productions. Here's the website, www.eddiecastellan.com. Yeah, we sell carbide cutters that fit most tools. Now here's the deal. Measure your cutter, check my website under cutters only, and then order what you need. Or give me a call. But please, before we chat, measure your cutters. And they're all sold in metric sizes. Okay? We've got the deal. We've got a deal you can't pass up. Also make a Blackhawk sharpening rake. It runs with those other rigs, but we run at half the price. So if you're interested, check out my website. Combos have got bars, cutters, handles, and all the other stuff. And the cutters only? What else? Cutters only. Check us out, www.eddiecastellan.com. Take care.